This is question 27 in exercise 17.1 in Project Maths 2. 20 people take 15 hours to count the votes after an election. And we're asked how long would it take if 25 people were used to do the counting, and how many people would be required to count the votes in 6 hours. So what we have is an example of inverse proportion rather than direct proportion. And I'll see what this means now. So for part 1, we have 20 people taking 15 hours to count the votes. And we are going to find out how long it takes 25 people to count the votes. But first of all, we're going to work out how long it would take for one person to count the votes. So we divide down the number of people by 20 to get to one person. But if we've lowered the number of people, that's not going to lower the number of hours. It's in fact going to increase the number of hours that it'll take for the task to be completed. And it'll increase it by the same amount that we have decreased it. So we've divided by 20 on the left, so we're going to multiply by 20 on the right here. So it's going to be 15 times 20 hours. So in other words, one person will take 300 hours to count the votes in this election. And from here we can then work up to 25. So 25 people. So we've multiplied by 25, multiplied the number of people by 25, which means we're going to divide the number of hours by 25. So 25 people will take 300 over 25 hours, which means that 25 people will get the votes counted in 12 hours. Okay, now let's look at part 2. In part 2, we're asked how many people would be required to count the votes in 6 hours. So we're at the same starting point as before. 20 people taking 15 hours. But this time we're looking to find a specific number of hours. So we're going to work our way down to 1 hour to start with. So if we divide down the number of hours by 15 to get down to 1 hour, that means we have to multiply the number of people by 15. So it's going to be 15 times 20 people. In other words, it will take 300 people 1 hour to count all the votes in the election. And we're looking to find out how many people would get this done in 6 hours. So we're multiplying our hours up by 6, which means that we're going to divide our number of people by 6, which means it would take 50 people 6 hours to count all the votes in this particular election. And that is that.